Thank you, and welcome back. I appreciate those who have listened to the last two episodes. And now we're going to dive deeper into some of the foundations of healthy soil and the principles built on that foundation. So first of all, I think the question why should never have to be asked. And so when someone says, why does the soil health matter? It really shakes me to my core, because it's like, because it's what keeps you grounded, because that's where food comes from. That's what makes water clean and the air breathable. Why do any of those things matter? Because if we don't have them, we die. Us and just about most everything else. I think it does matter, and I'm learning almost daily, frankly, sometimes multiple times a day, how much it does matter. Some principles that the rest of what we do, especially with our hands, are principles that maintain a happy and healthy habitat. So this is where we want to actually practice habitat hospitality, where not only us, but everything else, and this is where in some cultures they say, y'all, everything else, all, are happy and want to live there too. And when people deal with erosion or runoff, which is a type of erosion, that's literally the life and the small and sometimes large minerals saying it sucks to live here, and we're going to see if we can find someplace else. And the problem is some people are stuck there, and so all the stuff that they don't even want to live there anymore, and then they move. So some common mistakes and misconceptions about what is generating and regenerating in regenerative agriculture, but really it's in the understanding of life as a whole, is that it's not technology, it's biology. It's a totally different ology. And ology just means the study of. And so when someone is studying tools and mechanisms, and they have that same mindset when they talk about living, breathing, reproduce, that's why it shifts to habitat hospitality. I didn't say you have some people have a nicer habitat for their tractors, right? Their technology, and everything else is left to almost fend for themselves. That habitat sucks. And when you have a dirt devil, right, or a dust devil, or whatever, a little land tornado, it sucks to live there. And so this misconception is that it's a tool. And the problem is when they have that feeling, they need to look in the mirror, because they are realizing they're a tool being used by someone else for their agenda, for their well-being, while other communities are being left toxified, desertified, and they just wonder, what if I'd? And at that point, it shifts to something that they can do, because that's what we do. And when we do correctly, even nature thinks we're the shit. Some of the ways that we can connect those 4 Ps to these practices that we're doing, participating in, is really to understand that it does begin with you and ends with you, and if I'm involved, then it's a me, and if it's more than one person, it's a we. This is where it is connected. And because of that, the person participates. That's good and bad. That's the learning curve. That's the emotion sickness of living on this spinning rock in the middle of the universe. That's the hard part, but realizing that you have a community and individuals working side by side and hand in hand, because then you can. There are some jobs that it takes two, and it's in accomplishing that we're able to actually we're actually able to do it. We can solve all the whiny people problems. We have messed it up at nature scale. At that point, we have to work with nature to fix it. It's not technology. It's and this is why, if I was to ask most people I work with, what's the problem, where's the wall, where's whatever hindrance to their progress, where do they feel man, it's just iffy? Life is spelled L-I-F-E. If you don't have the living part, it's just iffy. And one way that proves that point is the W of wife. If she's not with you, it's iffy. See? So the living part, the life part, is actually what is missing. And unfortunately, but it has caused a lot of other people vast fortunes, it's biochemistry. So we've hacked the system with chemistry, but we're missing the living part. And so it's not cycling, it's not working, it's not, they call them ecosystems function. It's not helping the other things, because actually it's just nitrogen. well, how does nitrogen work in a living system? It's called breathing. Like, most of the air that we experience and breathe is nitrogen. But if nothing's there to breathe, or the ground compaction is so concretified, right, that at that point it's not breathing. So that just tells you what you need to do so that you can keep doing it. And so that's why the soil CPR course that I teach. That's why the podcast, and this is where those people then participate in programs, so that after that they have a whole support network and labor force and people who are willing to do other parts. Yes, there might be money exchange, but it's also a barter trade interaction, because it's the living part that's missing. And so that's why there's partners. This is where most people can't afford the shipping to get a product from A to B, but if it's already there, then it becomes a resource, And after that, there were some legitimate missing tools in the toolbox. And if you haven't even ever thought of it as a toolbox, there's a whole biological nature toolbox out there. And those tools were missing, and my products, and this is why I work with producers at all scales, are the trophic succession that leads to success. It's how nature fixes nature scale problems. It's how the human, Human, and the human, Humin, it's human. Like, it's the us part. And I mean the big U. You see what I mean? The us. The whole system part. That's where those products, which you can verify and 100% utilize, become ways for you to get a head start on what Mother Nature's trying to do all by herself. And sometimes we get in the way, sometimes we get run over, sometimes. But those peas help you keep from peeing your pants. I hope they've laughed. And there might be one of you out there who did pee their pants. I hope people take away from this episode, I don't know, why don't you leave a comment, reach out, like if there's something you took away from this, hey, it's a give and take, give back, like let's interact. I'm happy to share stories and successes and the learning curve of failure. Yep, first attempt in learning, that's why it's spelled that way, right? I hope that you realize I'm not industry standard, because on par the industry kind of sucks. Like a dirt devil out there. So I'm hoping to bring some life back into all of it. That's why we grow with. I appreciate you being here, and thank you for sharing this time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, check out the website, interact with some of our business partners so that you get to be part of it too. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next episode.